Hey, ChatGPT, what should we talk about on bad crypto today?
Hold on to your digital wallets, folks. A crypto thief has pulled a Robin Hood, returning over $71 million in wrapped Bitcoin. Meanwhile, the government's got Tether in its sights, and Binance has gone full-on Big Brother with its new surveillance tech. The crypto markets are playing the waiting game, but is it the calm before the rocket-fueled storm? Join us as we dive into all the latest shenanigans, mishaps, and breaking news in the wild world of Bitcoin, crypto, and blockchain on this Bad News episode number 726. Don't miss it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
The new OpenAI update, GPT 4.0, is out, and we decided to give it a spin here, writing the teaser. And I like original intelligence better, Trav. What do you think?
Well, I mean, we are the very first crypto podcast to use the brand new OpenAI model in our podcast teaser. So we're going to put that on our resume.
Always pioneering, always first to the table, mostly because we're hungry and we're
give me a sandwich, bitch. I need a sandwich.
It's the Bad Crypto Podcast, the show for the crypto curious, the crypto serious. Lord Travis Wright, Sir Lord Travis Wright, rather. Sorry, did not mean to disrespect you, sir. In Kansas City, Sir Lord Joel Comm on the beautiful tropical island of Puerto Rico, bringing you this week's news.
I don't know how to break this to you, but I've almost leveled up to count. I'm almost count Travis Wright. So,
Wow.
So let you know you're lagging behind. You haven't gotten enough royalty points.
Where does it go? Is it Sir Lord Count then? I think it's the third.
Lord Count. You just drop off the previous one.
Sir Lord. Count Lord.
Then it's Duke. By God. Then it's Count Duke.
So. And eventually King. My
plans all work together, that shall be true.
Let's just get right to King.
Oh, yes, back to the podcast.
CoinGecko, what does it have to say here as we refresh this week, time stamping the 13th of May, 3:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The total crypto market cap sitting at $2.423 trillion. Bitcoin just over 63,000, 63 and $34. Ethereum 29.53, BNB 594, Solana 148 and change, XRP 50 cents, Toncoin at 727, and back in the top 10 is Dogecoin at 15 cents. Is meme season nigh, good sir?
Yes, it does. It doth appear as if that might be the case.
Doth it?
Doth appear. Well, I mean, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but Roaring Kitty has gotten back in the meme game. Or so it's like, he was the dude who helped blow up GameStop back in the day. And so he tweeted for the first time in like 3 years. And so meme coin season could be nigh. So Lord.
Some up, some down for the week. Cheli and Pepe and Akash, Render, Thorchain, Tron, all up this week. Some of them also down. Take a look at the top 100 CoinGecko to figure it out. But
Toncoin actually has had another project come out called Not Coin, which is ton backwards, and a lot of big hubbub about that. I saw that trending on the Twitters, and I was like, "Good Lord, what is this?" And so it's Not Coin. So that was great. So they're trying to build coins on top of the Telegram's coins now.
Not aware of any hub or bub involved in that.
And
checking out the greed and fear index, it is definitely a little down. I think it was down from last week. We were a little greedier last week, sitting at 57. Yeah, 68 this time last week, 57 right now. People a little scared, a little shaky. They're not certain where things are going. Bitcoin dominance at 51%.
Well, I tell you what, it seems like whenever it's super greedy, like if my intuition was like, oh my God, it says extreme greed, I should probably sell some. And I didn't. And but my intuition was like, oh man, I should do this. And it's like, listen to your intuition sometimes, Travis. You know what? That's really one of the reasons why it's like, I think that, trying to figure out how to do research on this, you really got to put in some intelligence, some AI behind it. And that was one thing I was thinking about. And I was like, dude, like, because if I'm just looking at it, I go, oh, this looks good. But you really need some strong data behind it. And you know, this is really one key indicator right here. It's like they feed the fear and greed index, keeping an eye on that thing. Because, dude, when the ETFs came out and when all that money was pouring in, dude, it was like extreme greed. And you're going, yeah, it is. But always it feels like, oh, but we're going higher, and we will. But it's just we're in that what one person I saw on Twitter called the boring phase after the halving, where Bitcoin will lull you, and then all of a sudden it'll do its thing, and this lasts about 3 months, sometimes 6 months, and then it pops. So this is a totally different bull run cycle, though, from what we've seen before.
I don't know. I'm kind of bored right now with where Bitcoin is. It's just kind of, yeah, it's kind of mad. We're sitting below the all-time high. It's playing around 59 to 64. It just kind of goes back and forth. Last week, we had some big news about a thief that stole a lot of Bitcoin. And guess what? This guy has returned $71 million of this. The story is that they don't know who he was, but he returned $71 million worth of Ethereum after many blockchain investigation firms were looking into it. And I think he was like, you know what? I don't want to go to jail over this.
Yeah.
I'm going to send it back.
He was also doing the crypto clinch.
Yeah, this was,
oh no, look on chain and slow miss. They're saying it was from Hong Kong. Oh man, oh my God. And it was such big news. Like whenever that thing dropped, it was all over Twitter. Oh, $68 million stolen. Da, da, da. Everyone was looking into that. And so that dude was like, yeah, you know, he's probably bagged other people with it as well, but nobody's paying attention to the $1 million, $2 million scams at that point. $68 million. That's a big flub though. And so he was like, oh yeah, sphincters clench.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and send that money back. So he, 150 wallets is where it ended up before he returned the assets. And, you know, blockchain doesn't lie. We can see everything that happened right here, where it came from and what wallets it went back to. And good, you know, good on him for sending the money back. Real bad when people get ripped off. That's a lot of Bitcoin to lose.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's nice the guy got it back. That's friendly that the guy's got it back. But seriously though, I mean,
check your wallets, people. Just
yeah.
because the first characters and the last characters on your Ethereum wallet are correct, that's not how the guy got it. He created a wallet with those the same, and something in the middle was different. Something that you wouldn't normally detect if you just click copy on your MetaMask, because it doesn't show you the whole thing. And how often do you actually check the whole entire address?
Yeah, they really need to have a better function to be able to see more than just the last four and the first four. I mean, because if they're able to go in and create custom wallets that look like that one, but they're just changing the middle ones, I don't even know how you can create a custom wallet address. But apparently,
I don't know that you can. I think that you could just create as many Ethereum addresses as you want, though. Just click, you know, go until you find one that matches. Yeah, and then you have your you got your bait right there. You could be a master baiter with that. So volatility in the Bitcoin market, as always, it is now worth less than Tesla and Nvidia. It's fallen for a bit, but of course, people, you know, we look at this and we go, of course, this has to happen. And we have significant bull run coming up ahead. People predicting 100 to 150,000 on this particular bull run. 150 has been my go-to number ever since we were at the bottom. When we were at 15, I'm like, all right, we're going to 10x from here. But there are some who are predicting much higher, and with the fiat currencies of the world struggling. In fact, I just saw something before we started that the Canadian banks just put out a thing that some of their banks could be in trouble.
Oh,
shocker!
Be in trouble because of just the economy.
Yeah, because fiat currency, and because their prime minister is a total douchebag idiot, and they're destroying their economy just like the U.S. is destroying, you know, theirs.
You know, it's interesting. Speaking of the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, just the other day, I was scrolling through and I saw that Tucker Carlson did an interview with Kyle Kemper.
I saw
Kyle
that.
Kemper, friend of the show, and he is Trudeau's half brother, right? They got the same mom, and the mom back in the day, they were swingers heavily, and so the theory is that Trudeau's actually Castro's son, and if you look at pictures of Castro before or when he was young, very much resembles Justin. And so that's like there are lots of baby daddies apparently with Margaret Trudeau, but interesting to see him on there. Very well spoken, talking about it. It was just he was dressed like like he and bro himself, Ken Bosak, looked like they could be brothers sometimes. In the
Oh, maybe we need to check their parents and
yeah, maybe
little
maybe
DNA.
that's
He was wearing a Kennedy shirt, who, by the way, in my humble opinion, just signed his own sentence for obscurity after what he did on Twitter this week. Did you see the interview?
Thing about abortion?
Yeah, he was asked about abortion, and he said, and I quote, "Up until full term." Until full
Too
term.
damn late, man. My God,
Yeah,
that's a full baby. Then
I know that's a whole baby. And so what that means is now there's no doubt who he's taking votes from, right? Whenever you have a third party that has some attention, question is which party does he take votes from? He ain't taken from Trump with comments like that.
I gotta say this. I gotta say this because I
Say
mean,
it. Say it.
it's crazy. So, the other day, and I don't want to get political too much.
Go ahead. We just did.
But that's the reason I'm going to jump in, dude. New Jersey had over 100,000 Trump supporters in this.
Is that the official count? I mean, I looked at it.
No, they said it was over 100,000 people that were there. They said minimal. Some, mainstream media said, "Oh, it was only 40,000.
Yeah,
only 40,000 people." Like he can get like I don't know what's going on. Trump getting 100,000 people to come to I don't even know where it was. It wasn't a main area, right? It's like an obscure little area, and then the president, Biden, he's trouble getting 500 people in the city, and here's Trump getting 100,000 people outskirts of cities, right? And so my thought on this was the sad truth on this is that the deep state's running out of options. It's almost like it's gonna be crazy. Q3 is gonna be nuts. I would not be surprised if they say our last option is to make him a martyr, a la JFK. What are we gonna do?
Or they did the, out of the playbook from last time. If people will, fall into compliance again. Oh, there's a new virus. Everybody locked down. We need mail-in ballots.
It looks
mask
like
up
with
minions.
the cow thing, with the new bird flu. That's they're going to start killing off a bunch of animals because so it's just weird to watch this. Like, what plays do they have left? And ironically, if they off Trump, then people are going to elect RFK Jr. because nobody wants Biden. They've already seen what that's like. So it's just really crazy to see what's going on this thing, man.
It is indeed. And speaking of government, we have stories about the government in blockchain and crypto. There's one state representative from New Hampshire who is looking at 5% investment in a Bitcoin ETF for the rainy day fund of the government. And I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to start seeing, just like we've had governments and businesses, have in their portfolio Bitcoin. This is the next step, is we're going to start seeing states go, hey, maybe we should have a little bit of this here just in case, guys.
Yeah, because it says right here, if New Hampshire had put just 5% of its $93 million in 2016 into Bitcoin, that would be worth nearly $500 million now. Could you imagine if actual governments, instead of spending and going into all this debt, they actually had a plan in place? Like, I mean, we know that, well, a lot of people don't know, but I mean, Facebook and Google were basically CIA VCs that funded those things. And it's almost like if the government was getting the proceeds of some of these really big projects, like, well, they're already pushing them. So why doesn't the government get some of those proceeds? Instead, it all comes back to the taxpayers and having to pay on taxpayers. Now, there's a really interesting video by the president of El Salvador. I know we're coming into an El Salvador story coming up here, but talking about how the Fed really works. It's like the government is basically, they print money, but the Federal Reserve borrows bonds from the Treasury. Oh, and then they print those. And so it's just this huge game of printing money, which we know how it all works. But a lot of the normies still don't understand how paper money gets created. And I saw another chart that showed from 1971, whenever they got rid of Bretton Woods or whenever they had that act and took the dollar off of gold, like we had less than $1 trillion in debt from, it was like from 1800, 17 something all the way up to 1971, less than $1 trillion in debt. And then here we are now at $35 trillion in debt in this huge hockey stick. Just insane. Like
Is that all?
that doesn't, it's not sustainable.
By the way, we didn't talk about this last week, but there was a video that went viral on Twitter, on socials, that Trump had an event at Mar-a-Lago, and he announced that he's looking at crypto and that the campaign is taking donations in crypto, which is huge. And then I just saw this story on crypto.news. Trump taps Bitcoin Magazine CEO to draft day one crypto policy. So that's David Bailey is the Bitcoin Magazine CEO, and he's saying, yeah, we're working with the Trump campaign to develop their Bitcoin and crypto policy agenda, and they want him to sign an executive order on day one of term number 2. So this is great because he said at Mar-a-Lago, if you're pro crypto, you'll support me because the other guys want to squash it. It's so true. I'm so glad that he's come around on this.
Well, he's always loved the dollar. I mean, the dollar is the gold standard of paper money. And so, you know, I think that is a pretty big calling card to it because, you know, we know the Democrats at this point want to implement CBDCs. They want to track everything. They want that 15-minute city, like you can't travel outside of a certain area. This is not conspiracy theories, folks. These are what they've said. This is really where they want to head things. And I saw a video too, Build Back Better. Yeah, because they're losing control of their narrative. And so they need to build back better by tearing it all down. So they build it in their vision. So hopefully that doesn't occur. Hopefully, you know, the thing is, some other people were talking about in the government, in Congress, about like, look, all this stuff you guys are doing anti-crypto, it's killing innovations within this key space. And now look at, you know, OpenAI and all these other things. They're going to be communicating in microtransactions of crypto. It's not going to be so. You got all this money flowing in AI, but you're not spending any money doing any innovations around crypto. That doesn't make any sense, Joel Comm. Doesn't make any sense.
Midiots running the show. Many of them aren't even mid-level. I mean, it's crazy the people that they've put in charge of stuff. And anyway, Bitcoin miners are having a hard time. The difficulty has slumped in the last week, showing the biggest decline since crypto winter. So, you know, lower cost miners out there are taking precedent, which means, hey, it might be a good time if you thought about mining, then get out there and start mining if you think that the sats are going to go up. Why not?
Well, it's one of the things too. It's like historically, always due to the halving, the price ends up going up because for the miners, it has to be profitable enough for them. And if the price is too low, like if the price went down to, you know, 2017, era times, like this is not profitable enough for them to do it. Like it costs too much money, especially with inflation. And so, you know, that's why mining, and well, I do think that mining has taken off quite a bit also with these, with the fees that the miners were getting from Bitcoin runes right after that has happened. And I think we're seeing a lot more people building on top of Bitcoin, Joel, because of some of the fear that's happening around Ethereum and some of the other big blockchains that the government is saying that they are, you know, potentially securities. So more and more people are leaving Ethereum and coming in to Bitcoin to build on top of that. We're seeing it in real time.
El Salvador, who of course became the first country to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender back in 2021. Hard to believe it's almost 3 years already since that happened, now has over 5,700 Bitcoin, and they're being very public with their treasury. They're letting people monitor everything that they have, what the holdings are, which currently stand at $360 million every day, just like Bukele said he would. They buy a Bitcoin every single day. And over the past week, they spent 438,000, and that you can watch it happen right there on their website. Is it linked to the actual website, the Nayib Bukele Portfolio Tracker. Let's go ahead and pop that up here and just pull it up here and see what it is. There it is, naibtracker.com. There you can watch it in real time as Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin goes down.
So here's where they're making their purchases, and they're just making a little one purchase of one Bitcoin every single day. Pop, 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 pop. There's where the total value is popping up. That's nice.
Gonna be a very wealthy country. They're going to be very, very happy in El Salvador. As you mentioned, the U.S. government playing their little games is now going after Tether. Brad Garlinghouse, who was a guest on the show almost 7 years ago, is saying that he thinks Tether is super important, and he has no doubt that the government is going after them now. And who knows what that happens if the government steps in the way of this huge stable coin.
You know, who was it that mentioned? Oh, we had that one guy who came on who was maybe what the CTO of Tether or something, who came on the show, and he was talking about some of this stuff. And then I read
wasn't that Joel Katz, right?
No, he's the CTO of XRP of Ripple.
Yeah. What to Paulo Arduino.
Man, good memory. So
not bad for an old man, huh?
Boom. And so, USDC was the one that's more preferred. The Circle, I think they're more tied in to some people. A little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't know what's going on necessarily with that, but it seems like USDT is not the one that is loved as much as USDC is. And so Garlinghouse also said that the U.S. regulatory actions against Tether is unclear, but it's likely to significantly impact the crypto markets if that happens. Because, dude, think about that. It's tied 1-to-1. That's not a security. It seemed to me that a Tether would be a commodity more so because it's tied exactly to $1. It's pegged to $1, right? Circle USDC, that should be a commodity. You're not making money, but I think at least needs to be tied in. You need to be able to have provable backups that say, hey, we have this much of money, this much crypto backing up this much Tether. If it gets to the point like the government does and they could just print Tether out of thin air, that would be a huge problem.
It's kind of what they do. And fortunately, there are those who are speaking out against this. Gentleman named Stephen Narioff has slammed the U.S. SEC's crypto stance, calling for clarity and innovation. He's a former advisor to the Ethereum network and now has a very public voice and is very critical towards none other than Chairman Gary Gensler. I'm surprised there are not more calls for him to retire at this point. He's done such a horrible job.
Well, think about this, Joel. I mean, Gen Z and millennials, and even the new one behind it, they love crypto and they want to try to activate these younger voters. And if you want to come in and you're going to say, nope, crypto's done, that's going to be a big problem for those old cooters up there in the Capitol, right? It's like you're trying to activate these young voters and get them on your side, but then you're saying, hey, you're the means you like to trade in. You like meme coins. They love them. Who doesn't love a hilarious meme coin? Like you see, like the Dogecoin popped off ridiculously, right? And Pepe and all these Bonk and these other ones. Like aside from that, crypto in general, the youngsters, they be loving it, Sir Lord Joel Comm. It's be their thing. Like, and you're going to try to take that. They don't give a shit about the stock market unless they're gaming it like GameStop. They don't give a shit.
It's true. They do not, and cryptos are definitely the future, and the next generation wants to adopt them. Meanwhile, over at Binance, remember they did this $4.3 billion settlement with the U.S. Department of Justice, and part of it was that in the settlement that they would allow 2 agencies to appoint compliance monitors, and they would agree that the Department of Justice could monitor their operations for 3 years and FinCEN for 5. So what does that mean? It means now they are surveilling, the U.S. government is surveilling just about every crypto trade that takes place on Binance.
Yeah, but it's not Binance.us. It's Binance, all
Right. The
Binance. So why would the
Binance.
US
Yeah.
government need to pay? Why would they need to be monitoring all of the transactions on Binance.com? Because none of the customers on Binance.com are US based citizens.
Because they are nosy.
So crazy to what's going on with that. So, crypto surveillance, they got an eye on it. They could just watch the blockchain. They don't necessarily have to watch everything else. They could just see it. But I don't know, dude. Hate that
So
shit.
don't be a bad actor. It's a moral of the story. Don't do stupid things. Meanwhile, we have senators from each party that are questioning the money transmitter laws that are being used against crypto mixers like Samurai Wallet and Tornado Cash. Cynthia Loomis, who is a Republican, Rod Wyden, who is a Democrat. They're saying, hey, Mr. Attorney General, you're approaching crypto mixing services completely wrong. They're saying that Tornado Cash and others are not money transmitters, and that the Treasury Department's views on transmitters already point this out. So the US government is just going crazy. It's government gone wild. They're losing control.
Yeah, first they laugh at you, then they come after you, right? What is it? Wasn't it? And then
And
you win.
then they dance with you.
Yeah, and then you
You
take a
do.
shit on their grave, and you say "fuck you," eat a bag of dicks, something like that. But
That's what Gandhi said exactly.
I mean, that's just a direct
Paraphrase.
quote from Gandhi. Who are we?
Yeah.
Who are we to question?
Yeah.
But it really, those crypto mixing services, they don't like those at all, because it's like, here comes the wallet in, it gets mixed out, and it goes out, and you don't know what that money was. So if that scammer who took that 68 million or 71 million or whatever the value of it was, mixed it all up and then sent it all out. I mean, they were trying to send it all over to different addresses, and they sent it to 150. But like, if you're mixing it up through some of these protocols, then it's supposed to hide it. So I could see where the Department of Justice might be freaked out about some of that type of stuff. But they're not just going after that; they're going after all kinds of crypto. Anything that's digital, they hate. They're like, get off my lawn, stay on my fiat lawn.
Nope, not going to happen. So you mentioned GameStop, and is a predecessor to the crypto story we're going to cover. Just to point out that GameStop itself is rocketing up right now. And if you were short GameStop just today on Monday, which is again May 13th, the shorts have lost over $1 billion in GameStop, largely because of Roaring Kitty. This is the person that came back today or yesterday and started the meme came back, and maybe this person started tweeting or whatever. And so people started buying GameStop again because they like the stonk. It was as high as 110% up. So the shorts got eaten alive in the stock market.
Well, and also there's a meme coin on Solana called GameStop, GME, and that thing popped up 1900% as well. And so, Roaring Kitty, or also known as Deep Fucking Value, also known, I think his name is Keith or Kevin Gill, Keith Gill. Keith Gill, yeah, that's the dude's name. But he disappeared after he turned. What was it? There's a story on Netflix about this guy, right?
Yep.
I don't remember what it's called, but you should probably be able to Google it. But it was very fascinating talking about this dude's story, and it basically mapped out exactly what happened. He put his life savings into GameStop and had diamond hands, baby. And now here we are, and they're already pausing the trades on GameStop again. Here we go again. We've seen this story before, Joel.
9 times they paused the traders, but couldn't stop it from going where it was going. What happens next? No freaking idea, but it's fun to watch.
Roy Kitty just came in and had a little meme where he's like,
he roared
back, and then he's sitting up. And that was all he did. Like, okay, here we go.
Time to buy the stonk. So on the other side of the world, Chinese workers are being paid in the pilot program of China's CBDC. But guess what? They're cashing out. They don't want to hold on to this digital yuan. They want to have fiat currency, which they know is usable. And they're concerned, about how the digital currency is actually going to work. So most are converting to cash right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't want your stinking CBDC, you guys. So yeah, they're basically just trading it in for the dollar bills. And so, Yeah, they want to have a virtually cashless society. And I would say this, though, they mostly do because of WeChat, and everything is digital there, right? They literally they connect your bank account to WeChat. The government monitors WeChat. So there was an amazing video on WeChat and how the tentacles of WeChat. It was like Magnate Media on YouTube. Saw it a couple years ago, just talking about, and then any company that does business with China, then they have to basically give their data to the government so they can monitor it. That's why TikTok's not so great when they get on your phone, because they basically can monitor all the keystrokes and stuff that you do. So TikTok's really not great. At least I don't have it on my phone. I don't have it on a device that I use regularly. But yeah, they're not trust. It just shows that they don't trust CBDCs either. They try to get out of them as quick as possible. And especially, Joel, the problem I see with these CBDCs is like it's programmable. It's programmable in the worst kind of way, right? We're like, hey, it's programmable money, yay! Well, it's horrible when they say you got to spend all your money by March, May 30th, and
Well,
oh,
you
by the
lose
way,
it.
you can't spend it outside this 15-mile radius, or you can't use it, right? There's so many things that you can't do if you. So that's the future they want. Money that has an expiration date. Like, oh my God, that's like a fascist wet dream, isn't it?
Very wet. So dreamy. So, at the beginning of the show, we used the new Open AI 4.0 to write and speak our teaser, and this is what's everybody's talking about today on the socials. That OpenAI says the new AI model is faster and free for all users. You talk to it, it talks back. It's got all kinds of advances in voice assistant capabilities, and it's just getting scarier, faster and faster.
Well, it's what was it, 50% faster and 50% cheaper or something like that for them, according to ChatGPT 4.0. And so this is 4 with a little o. So it's like 40, but it's like a 4 a little o. I don't know. I guess their next one will be 4 a little one. I don't
So
know.
during the
That's why it's not
demonstration,
ChatGPT 5. It's just their next iteration.
a researcher asked an AI model to read the expression of their face and judge their emotions. ChatGPT's voice assistant assessed he looked happy and cheerful with a big smile and maybe even a touch of excitement. Whatever is going on, it seems like you're in a good mood. And I guess you can use the camera to show your surroundings and ask, to evaluate anything about the space that you're in, to guess what you're doing even. So that's kind of creepy.
Well, I mean, I have the Ray-Ban Meta glasses for one because they're fun. Just you press the little button and then it records with a little scenario you're in. I actually use them mostly at this point. I have them right here. I mostly use them for phone calls and listening to music. It has the best microphone ever for chatting with somebody. Phone calls are great, but you can do that here. But what it will do is it will take a photo and then it will do analysis of that photo. So it doesn't do it in real time. But if we're able to do this shit in real time now, and just look at this, and then so there's so many things that have popped up on this, like you could literally play rock paper scissors, and it could show, like, if we have two people sitting here, and it can look at us, and we could see if we did it right, who won. They can do all kinds of different things. We've not even touched the surface on the capabilities of this yet. And then imagine this as an API. So I'm going to be using this as an API on a tool that I'm building because it's so far back. We did think Claude 3 was the best one. Well, now this one just far surpasses that. I think it's going to keep going back and forth until we can build our own open AI that's really actually open. That's our own, instead of using theirs, which is closed. So you got to do what you got to do until you can get to where you need to get with what you got, I think.
Finally, from the NFT world, we've talked much about projects that are actually doing something and building a brand, and one that has succeeded quite well is Pudgy Penguins. I am no longer a Pudgy owner. I do have a little Pudgy, but I sold my Pudgy. Over 1 million toys, the stuffed plushies, have been sold via Walmart, Target, Hot Topic, and they're doing a really good job of bringing the brand out. And so in an era when other projects are flailing, the floor price at this moment is 13.3 ETH on these little guys. So
And whenever
good job.
And it was like 30 something not long ago, wasn't it?
I think it hit like 23 was the top.
Nice.
Yeah. And they flipped Bored Apes. I'm curious. I'm just looking right now. So right now, Bored Apes are back over them. 14.77 is the floor price of a Bored Ape. But boy, there was a time you could have gotten a Bored Ape for as little as, let's see, the bottom was like, I don't know, I want to say 10 or so. Looking for the analytics here to see if I can figure out just how low it went. You could have gotten one for 10.89. That was the cheapest that you could have gotten a Bored Ape. And I still don't know, Yuga's future. They got a lot of money, deep wallets, but I am looking forward to NFT season returning. It's going to look different. And those who have made it through the bear market and have kept their community and have built up some sort of utility. You know what I really miss? I miss when people bought NFTs just for collectibles. Like what it was when we started out with Blockchain Heroes, just making badass cool stuff with packs and people would open them. That was so fun. And then the click and earn crappy games came in that you would earn a worthless crappy token, and they just destroyed that whole collectability because now people are demanding, oh, what does your NFT do?
What does my Star Wars cards from 1977 do? I look at
you look
now. I do want to give a shout out. This is a good time to do a shout out.
Yes.
And maybe I can pull up a photo of this in my Twitters. So one of our fans of the show, Meta Owl.
Love Meta Owl. He's a great supporter.
So he went to an ICP event.
Yeah.
And
you got the picture of his jacket?
Yeah, did you see that?
I did, but pull it up if you have it handy.
Let me see.
It's very cool.
Yeah, they made a custom jacket. It says ICP Internet Computer Protocol event did one, and there it is. I will copy it and I will send it over to you.
Actually, I have it right here. I'm just going to put it up on the screen right now. This is it. This is the jacket that he wore, and right on the sleeve, there's the McAfee inspired blockchain hero Renegade right there on the sleeve. Look how cool that is.
That's so cool. And he said, so what's the significance of the ghost on his chest? I was like, well, that's just a shit coin he was pumping at the time. But now he's a ghost. So
yeah.
So it was a little prescient, I suppose. Good stuff. So, hey, thanks everyone again for tuning in to another episode. We trust that you've listened to all 726 episodes.
If not, why haven't you? Get started.
That's work to do. Turn it on while you're sleeping. Make sure to leave a review. Make sure to subscribe and all the things. Give it likes on the Instagrams or on the Twitters and the YouTubes and the Rumbles and the libraries and your moms.
Your
mom alike. Hope your
mom.
Oh, yeah, that's called birthing people.
Yes.
Hope your parental units had a great birthing people day yesterday.
A chest feeder. And when you do talk to your mom again, tell her the most important thing, which is that she should stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.
I'm in the coin buzz, back in the game, friends. Doges and Pepe, we seal the sand. They all rise up with that crypto swing. I'm not telling you to put everything, but with market charts, all colors and lines, investing smart. Gotta read the signs.